Everybody, what's going on? This regular Ravens fan coming back at you. You know, one of the many Lamar Jackson supporters, as always, tell everybody trust your eyes when you're watching this game. Please trust your eyes and don't believe the lies. You always got to trust what you see. Um, I didn't want to do this because we got a big game coming up on Monday, Ravens Chiefs, Monday Night Football, prime time, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, center stage. So I really didn't want to do this because I don't want to do anything to kind of jinx this game, but I got to because I can't take it, man. Here we go again with the media. So here goes Skip Bayless. I'm gonna let y'all hear what he say out of his own mouth, but alluding to Lamar Jackson hasn't proven what he's done in big games, alluding to Lamar Jackson needs to win this game. Number one, this is week 3. This is week 3, okay? This is not week 16. It's not week 15 where both of these two teams are vying for top seed and winner is gonna have a leg up. That's not what this is. This is week 3. Like, a lot can happen over the rest of this season. That's number one. Number two, the fact that Lamar Jackson hasn't beaten the Chiefs, as I always try to tell people, that's a team thing. Okay, teams win and lose. Individual players can only do their job, but teams cohesively they win and lose. So I hate when people use the winning and the losing as the reason to why one player is one thing and another player isn't. That it takes everybody around you to win. Nevertheless, Lamar Jackson has already proven that he's a great player in this league. Patrick Mahomes has already proven that he's a great player in this league. These two players do not have to decide which one is great based upon what they do head to head. That's not the way it works. The way it works is your body of work shows what you are. Your body of work is gonna tell a story. So all we gotta do is watch it. We've seen both of these guys be great, but to say that Lamar Jackson is still the naysayer. So here we go. I want y'all to hear the naysayers say it for itself.
With the point you just made, Lamar Jackson, and I'm a big fan, he needs to win this game. We're talking about legacies here that will turn into rivalry, and I don't disagree with your premise of it needs to happen when it really matters.
Right.
But so far, Lamar has nothing to show on games that really matter. 2 of those came.
Lamar Jackson has nothing to show on games that really matter. Okay. Rookie season, Lamar Jackson comes in. Final game of the season. All right, we can go 2 games before that. Goes up to the Chargers. Regular season game in LA. Ravens are in a tight playoff race. If the Ravens win, they're still hanging with the Steelers to win the division. If the Ravens lose, they could be all the way outside the playoffs looking in. Lamar Jackson goes up to LA, the Ravens get a win. Primetime game that mattered. Final game of the season versus the Browns. Ravens can win, they're in, and they win the division title. They lose, and they lose the division title and are all the way out the playoffs. The Ravens win, Lamar Jackson helps them win that game. Last year, you go to Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, one of the two. You play against the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick. You go out there, you spank them. You play against, again, late Monday night game. You play against the Rams, Monday Night Football. You put up big numbers. You play against a game that was built up to be a huge game. You versus Deshaun Watson. I'm talking about last year, not even this year, but you versus Deshaun Watson. Built to be one of the, a young quarterback rivalry. You spanked them. You played against Russell Wilson and the 12th man in a game that mattered. We're trying to figure out which one of these guys is better. You go up there, you put on a hell of a performance, your team wins the game. I don't understand why you're going to say now that Lamar Jackson hasn't proven anything in games that matter. Both of the games that he lost against the Chiefs, actually neither one of those games mattered. Both of them, one of them was early in the year, the other one was at his 5th start, and they lost that game. That one may have mattered, okay? But they didn't lose because of Lamar Jackson. They were up 24-17 with 4 minutes to go in the game. Lamar Jackson, they threw a go-ahead touchdown pass. And on 4th and 9, we all know what Pat Mahomes did. But nevertheless, we're going to let him continue talking.
In the regular season, both of them at Kansas City. Rookie year, second year, obviously, for Lamar. And he lost both. Played really well in the first one. I'll talk about it in just a second. Not so well in the second one. But do I need to remind everybody what's happened to Lamar in 2 home playoff games?
Right.
Nothing great.
No.
Okay, stunk it up
You know what? Let me let him finish talking.
twice. And he knows it, and he's talked about it, and I think...
I'm sorry, y'all, because I was about to say something. He says he stunk it up twice. It's not good in playoff games. I don't know about everybody else, but playoff games are football games. They're just like every other football game. You don't one player cannot win or lose on his own. Now, the first playoff game against the Chargers, the Ravens defense actually played pretty well. They kept holding the Chargers to field goals. They played it pretty well on defense, despite, in light of what the offense did in the first 3 quarters of that game. Lamar Jackson had some fumbles, threw a pick that actually, just like in the second playoff game, was a pick that hit a receiver's hands. But that's a story for another day. Interception goes off of Chris Moore's hands. By the way, his wide receiver that was playing in the in the playoff game was Chris Moore. I just want everybody to understand that. I want everybody to understand the roster he was playing with. He had Chris Moore on the field. It was Chris Moore, Michael Crabtree, and John Brown. That was his wide receivers. All right, I just want everybody to remember that. And then he brought the team all the way back in the fourth quarter through 2 touchdown passes and had the ball late with a chance to win. Like, that happened. That's not playing bad. That's actually turning it around when you were playing bad. And then the second game, he has over 500 yards of total offense, and Derrick Henry runs through the defense. And we say Lamar Jackson's the reason we lost. He stunk it up. No, he didn't stink it up. He actually played pretty well. His team as a whole didn't play well, and they lost. He didn't play great, but he didn't play horribly.
It's fueling him. I still believe Baltimore is the best team. I think they've shown so far they're the best team. I certainly don't write off Kansas City. But Lamar, for the sake of his team and the sake of this rivalry, he needs to win this game at home as a 4-point favorite over the Chiefs. So let's look at those 2 games quickly. What happened in 2018? It was their first meeting late in the year. Week 14, it was cold and windy in Kansas City.
And Lamar had only been starting about 5-6 games, I think.
For flu, right? Okay. So this was the first time I sat back and I said, wait a second. This kid is going to be special.
Right.
Because he was really, really good in this game, throwing it and running it. Because he ran it 14 times for 67 yards, but he threw it really well. Threw for 2 touchdowns and no picks. And he threw a touchdown pass to John Brown with 4:04 left to put them ahead 24-17. And I thought, he just pulled this off.
Yep.
And they had Kansas City pushed all the way back to 4th and 9. 4th and 9?
Twice.
Well,
they had 2 4th downs on the big throw.
The one.
Yeah, I hope everybody hear that.
129 left. And
that's how he lost to Pat Mahomes.
On his little crossing route, it was only about a 5-yard throw, but he caught it and he took off with it. And it's that.
And this is what I say when I say media paints pictures. He didn't throw a 5-yard route to Tyreek Hill on 4th and 9. It's not what he did at all. He actually got flushed out of the pocket and he heaved up a desperation prayer in which Tyreek Hill, with his greatness and ability, was able to go across the middle of the field with a middle linebacker sitting there and another safety coming over the side, Eric Weddle, who just stopped. Why, I don't know. He stopped running. And Tyreek Hill caught a desperation throw, a ball that was thrown desperately to the middle of the field. What Pat Mahomes did was he threw it to where he saw space, and Tyreek Hill went and got it. That's what happened. It wasn't a 5-yard route. It was a desperation prayer, and Tyreek answered it. That's what happened. Now, yes, it was a 4th and 5 where he hit the running back. But I just want everybody to understand that. Like, that's what it took for Lamar Jackson to lose to Pat Mahomes the first time around.
Staple of the West Coast offense. And once he got underneath and caught it and turned it up, it was over. And he went 48 yards with it. And they went on down and scored. It did come down to a 4th down play.
We went for the 4th and goal.
David Williams with a little pop pass. And then that was at 24-all. Then Lamar got strip sacked and Butker missed the field goal that should have won it, but then they won it with a long drive in overtime. Okay, and actually Lamar ended up getting banged up and they had to put RG3 in to end the game in overtime. Did well for himself. Showed what was about to happen.
Right.
But they lost. And then the game 2019 last year came pretty early. It was September 22nd. It wound up 33-28, but going into the fourth quarter, the game was virtually already over. It was just, it was pretty ugly. So my point to you is that Lamar hasn't done enough. You need a dub. You need to do something. I think it's a huge game. As regular season games go, because it's a Monday night game, he needs to show the world that he can lift his team up over Mahomes' team, or it's going to start looking like, well, you're just second rate. You're second best. You can't.
Lamar Jackson is going to look like he's second rate. A unanimous MVP. A unanimous MVP. A player who has started his NFL career as a starting quarterback at 21 wins and 3 losses. 21 wins and 3 losses. And that's the player that has to win Monday night, or, he's going to look like a second-rate quarterback. He's just not good. That's what we're saying, right? That's what we're saying about Lamar Jackson, a unanimous MVP. Someone who set NFL records. Like, NFL records. I mean, he did that. Somebody who is showing growth at the position each and every time we see him play a game. He's showing growth. Like, if he loses this game Monday night, which I don't think he will, by the way, I honestly think the Ravens will win 34-24 because I think Lamar Jackson, as he has always done so far in his young career, he's going to show up in prime time. That's another thing I don't understand what this man just said. Lamar Jackson has shown up in every primetime game he's played. Each and every one, including the playoff loss last year. Lamar Jackson has balled out and shown up in every primetime game he has played so far in his career. So I actually think the Ravens will win 34-24. But nevertheless, you're going to say he has to win? If the Ravens lose, that isn't going to diminish Lamar Jackson. If they lose, he will have started his career in the NFL at a rate of 21-4. Is that second rate to anybody? 21-4? Come on, man. If you want to include the playoffs, fine. It'll be 21-6. If you want to go ahead and say, well, he got 2 playoff losses, okay, it'll be 21-6. If they lose. If they win, it'll be 22-5. There is either one of those records are not second rate as a quarterback in the NFL. That's a lot of games above 500. And it's a lot of 500 type quarterbacks getting paid. So don't tell me that makes him second rate anything if they lose. He hasn't shown you anything. All of the primetime games he's been showing off in, he hasn't shown you anything. Man, this is Regular Ravens fans signing out. As I'm telling y'all, here it is today, Friday, September 25th. And I'm telling y'all that the Ravens are going to win Monday night, 34-24. You can write it down. You can put some money on it, whatever you want to do. 34-24 Ravens. Regular Ravens fan, Ravens Nations for life. I'm signing out.